What are you doing here? I said, there's probably nobody here because the gallery uncharacteristically and uncustomarily is full. But I just said I'd be here, so I'm here. Usually if I say I'm going to be someplace, I am. So here we are. Democrats have been hard at work legislating, investigating, litigating, and we're happy this week that we did something we've been trying to do for a very long time. Hold just the Ottoman Empire responsible for an Armenian genocide. Very strong bipartisan vote, and 403 to 16, something like that. We voted sanctions on Turkey, again reaffirming our opposition to the president's action that he took vis-a-vis Syria and Turkey. And again, that was 354 to 60. So we've had strong bipartisan votes on these issues that relate to what happened in Turkey vis-a-vis Syria. In our For the People agenda, we said we were going to do first lower healthcare costs by lowering the cost of prescription drugs, and that is what we are doing with H.R. 3, now named the Elijah E. Cummings Lower Drug Costs Now legislation. We invite our Republican colleagues who keep saying they want to do something to join us to do that. And when we pass it, we urge Senator McConnell to stop saying all we're doing is impeaching when we sent him scores of very important bills, hundreds of pieces of legislation, which he, as the Grim Reaper, has refused to act upon. We are moving with the U.S.-Mexico-Canada trade agreement, making progress every day. I'm optimistic that we are still on a path to yes, and that we will come to conclusion soon on that. And then again, building the infrastructure of America and the rest, we're hoping for strong bipartisanship in that regard. So we are legislating, and yes, we are investigating. And today we move further down the path in our inquiry by putting forth our procedures, which are very transparent and open, and frankly, more transparent, more open, giving more privileges to the president and his argument than were given in the past. So the argument that they're making on the floor is not real. This is a sad day. It's a sad day because nobody comes to Congress to impeach a president of the United States. No one. We come here to do the work, make the future better for our children, for America's future. We take an oath to protect and defend the Constitution, and that's what we cannot ignore, and we will not ignore when the president's behavior indicates that investigation, that inquiry is necessary. As the inquiry proceeds, we'll decide whether we'll go forward with impeachment. That decision has not been made. But here we are, again, our founders, September 17th, 1787, they came forth with a constitution, the genius of which was a separation of powers, 3 co-equal branches of government, balance of power. And when Benjamin Franklin came out, they said, Mr. Franklin, what do we have, a monarchy or a republic? And they said, a republic if we can keep it. And here, right in the here and now, we are keeping the republic. From a president who says, Article 2 says I can do whatever I want. Not so. And if so, if you think that's so and you act upon that belief, that is in violation of the Constitution of the United States. And so we will proceed with the facts, the truth. It's about the truth and it's about the Constitution, and we're very working hard to defend our democracy. Because if we don't have a system of checks and balances, we might as well all just elect a president and go home, because it will be that unitary form of government that our founders did not want us to have. In fact, the times have found us. We feel, all of us, all of you, as messengers, as guardians of our democracy, the guardians of the gate of our democracy, as messengers about revealing the facts and the truth to the American people. In fact, the times have found us, as they found, as Thomas Paine said, our founders, to declare independence, to fight a war, to win it, to write our founding documents in a way that made us a republic. Times have found us now to have a republic and to keep it, as Benjamin Franklin admonished. This isn't about anything personal with the president. It isn't about politics. It isn't about patriotism. It isn't about partisanship. It's about patriotism. It's about patriotism. And I would hope that rather than protecting the president personally, all of our colleagues would choose to honor their oath of office to protect and defend not the president, but the Constitution of the United States. Just a few questions because we're on the floor. Yes, ma'am.
Madam Speaker, do you think this vote will do anything to diminish the Republican and White House belief that this is an illegitimate, unfair, and partisan?
But doesn't the question is, do I think it's going to diminish their, the facts are what they are. They can try to misrepresent them, but the fact is this is a process that is expanded opportunity for them to show anything that is exculpatory, proves the innocence of the president.
Yes, Republicans say that this process is not due process for the president. Are these rules really fair?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Now, I answered it once, I'll answer it twice. I'm going to answer it one time. These rules are fairer than anything that have gone before in terms of an impeachment proceeding. I'm not here to answer what the Republicans say. If you have any questions, we're doing appropriations, we're doing trade, we're doing drug prices, lowering the cost of drug prices. I'm not here to answer any questions about what the Republicans say, further than to what I have said just now.
Do you believe that you have the votes necessary?
Can you please
Yes.
tell me if you think that Katie Hill should have resigned? What do you say to the younger lawmakers who think that there is some sort of generational divide and perhaps that she shouldn't have?
Katie Hill's decision to resign is her decision to resign. She's an absolutely outstanding young public servant. Very smart, strategic, patriotic, loves our country, respected by her colleagues in the Congress for the work that she does here. She made her decision and her timing, and I respect that. I do say to my own children, grandchildren, especially grandchildren, some of these, I don't know what you would call them, appearances on social media can come back to haunt you if they are taken out of context and that. But I do think that we have to be careful. This is something that I think could spring from this that could be a benefit. Regardless of any errors in judgment that anyone may have made, it's shameful that she's been exposed to public humiliation by way of cyber exploitation. And I caution everyone that they too may be subjected to that. So to be careful. Countless women across America have been subjected to this type of harassment and abuse, which is a profound violation of those women's rights, or any men too, and human dignity. So this is something that we have to. I thank you for your question. It is bigger than one person. It's about how people have presented themselves over time, and again, exploitation by others who get the information and we don't know how. Well, that's just not right. And actually, there's a legal question involved in it as well. So I'm sad that she's in. Yes, sir. This is it.
On the trade agreement, and how does impeachment
So.
affect it, both in terms of the clock and the political need to show kitchen table achievement?
No, they have nothing to do with each other. The timing on the U.S. The question was, how does that relate to impeachment? The U.S. Mexico-Canada trade agreement is about what is contained in that agreement. Its timing is when we come to a conclusion as to agreement there, and it has nothing to do with the timing on impeachment. Absolutely nothing. In the House of Representatives, that's all I can speak for. We are reasonably close. I will say this. This is probably the most optimistic thing I will say about this. If we can come to terms that I think we're close to doing, this will be a template for future trade agreements. And not only be good of itself, but a good pattern for how we can proceed. So we have an opportunity to do it right. We're not there yet, but we understand the road that the last, shall we say, mile that we have to go. So I'm optimistic. I'm going to have to go to the floor then. Excuse me?
What about the clock?
What about the clock?
Well, you've got a possible Senate trial next year. It's going to be difficult for them to process.
Well, that I can't answer for the Senate. We'll just do our bill when we're ready, and we can't do it any sooner than when we have the agreement. That this trade agreement is really helpful to the lives of America's working families. And you don't help America's working families by pauperizing people in Mexico. The lower their wages are, the more companies will go. I had someone come in my office yesterday to say that 38, the machinists were 30, excuse me, I'll just be conservative, 35 factories have closed in the last 2 years, many of them going out of the country, many of them going out of the country. So if we lift the standards up for everyone, we have a better shot of having a better deal for America's working families, and that's why we're there. We're there for America's working families. I voted for NAFTA. I had my disappointments about it. I didn't want this to just be NAFTA plus a little bit. I want it to be structurally different in terms of who benefits, starting with American workers. So I'm happy about it, and impeachment has nothing to do with it. It only has to do with our coming to agreement and to terms as far as the House of Representatives is concerned. As you may understand, I have business on the floor that I have to see to, so I'm going to have to excuse myself. Thank you all very much.
Madam Speaker, how would you